I just finished replacing all the threads on these steps, and I had to rebuild the bottom steps. I'm going to show you how I did it. Well, today we're going to repair some broken steps. We're going to put new threads on them. I'm going to plaster it up to paint it. I'm going to show you what we're doing, why we're doing it, so if you ever run across this problem, maybe it'll help you. Let me show you what's going on with the steps. First of all, we got a crack going all the way up this whole set of steps. So this section of steps right in here, that means the footer's bad. One section sunk, the other section didn't sink. We get up here, iron railing. What happens is that expands and contracts, and it broke away the concrete, so we got to fix that. Then we get up here and we have a broken step, but the rest of them aren't broken, and I don't see any cracks. But we're going to take these off and put new ones on. That's actually the first thing we're going to do. Now, all this brickwork right here is pretty much shot. Brickwork don't last in Pennsylvania. See it? It's all shot. It's all coming apart. So I'm going to knock this whole part out right here, pour a separate footer, and then build them up again. What I did was I measured these 7 1/4, 7 1/8, 7 1/4, 7 1/4, and this is a slant. So they're not too bad. So I'm going to make a picture of this and draw my pattern off of this. Here's what I'm doing. I get a piece of cardboard, I put it against here, I draw my steps right even, so I know that they're all going to come out the same. Now here's that piece of cardboard I brought back. If you look, here's the top, and I remeasured everything to make sure. I'm going to cut it out to make sure that these steps fit properly. Forget about rulers and levels and everything when you're on a job. You have to go by a pattern. So I'm going to show you here before I rip this out of here. This is a 14-inch stone, and they went under the brick. Now some guys believe in doing that. It's not my style. I don't do that, because if you ever have to get the stone off or the stone chips, then you're into a little pickle. You'd have to saw it off and get it off to change it. So a lot of different styles of different masons. Nothing's right or wrong as long as it works. But I just want to show that to you. Sometimes the stone won't come out from underneath, so you gotta take it out from the top. Just like that, and dig into it. Sometimes you try to go under, and it won't work. So if you go on top, a little tip that I like to do when I'm replacing steps is, what I do is I take them all and I lay them out here dry, no cement, and then I do my measurements. Then I kind of know where I'm at, I know if they fit, and then I cement them. So there, got all the cement in here. Okay, Rob, you ready? I'm going to try to get it in. You go to me a little bit. Okay. Right where we want to be. Yep. See? And if I had to, I could always keep taking them off and putting them back on. Well, this is day 2, and we fixed these all up here. And now we're going to rip these steps out right here. Okay, rip this all apart. I'm ripping these steps apart. You see what happens. Cement in Pennsylvania falls apart. You see that? Bricks are all like brand new, cement falls apart. Mortar don't work in Pennsylvania. You gotta add Portland to it. Now, ripping a brick up. See that? How do you know how far to go? And just like a dentist, I keep using that analogy. When you go into a dentist, You go to everything, takes out, you don't rip the whole tooth out, it just takes out what's bad and replaces it. It's the same idea here. I'm going to talk to you about footers. Took all the brick off, here's the footer, there's not a crack in it. My first thing was I thought, definitely the footer's cracked, but that's not the case. So just like a dentist, I only took off what was bad, and now I'm going to put it back. But sometimes putting a new footer in ain't the right thing. Anybody tells you to put an extra footer in, make sure you get it in writing, because you cause more damage than you do good sometimes. Everything depends. Remember I made my pattern? It's the only way I'm going to know exactly how those steps are going to go in. I do it on this side, and I do it on this side. Forget about rulers and levels and all that stuff. Your pattern's what's going to tell you how it's going to work out. So what I'm doing is I'm going to fill this with concrete, make an extra footer. Watch the front of it. This is a very, very fast drying cement. I'm going to put a couple of pieces of rebar in here. I don't want that to ever split again. I'll put one this way. So, put my extra footer in with fast drying cement, so in about 20 minutes I could start laying the brick in here again. I gotta show you something. I ran into a problem. When I looked at this footer, they came over the top of this other concrete sidewalk with their brick. So every time the concrete sidewalk lifted up in the winter, it'd be busting the brick up. So I can't do that. I have to go back to the original footer, and so I have to shorten the steps up a bit. If I don't do that, it's going to happen all over again. So I had to come back here and move each step back an extra inch so it'll work. See this? This is all the stone that I ripped off that was still good. Now, what else are you going to get better in masonry than real stone? That's the best thing you could get. Second thing, I'm not taking the whole thing to a landfill, I'm reusing it. All these bricks are solid, and I'm reusing these too. I just laid them out there dry. These are all dry. That means they're loose. But I had to bring them back but I got too much of an overhang here. See that overhang right there? So I got to cut off about an inch off 3 of them. Gonna put it all in here. This is our next stone. And wind up right with this one. Okay, you wind up there. Wanna come towards me a 1/4 inch? Yep. Just let it down good. And then you plaster it. Now the sun's on this, but this is where the railing is. I'm going to put some Simmental in there. So you see me use Simmental in my other videos, and dries quick, and you can form it. So that's what I like about it. Well, I figured I'd come back in the winter and give them a check. So it's looking good. They painted it up. I want to talk about that job a little bit. I was wrong when I thought that footer was bad. It looked like all the symptoms, just like a doctor. You walk in. I don't have x-rays or anything. I just got to look at it and say, well, I think that footer sunk. It could have been a cheap footer. But when I dug down, I found something solid. And I think they poured the whole footer all the way to the whole porch underneath. The whole footer was on one solid piece. What happens when they poured the sidewalk underneath it, they let the brick hang out. Sidewalk lift up and start bouncing the footer. They got a crack in it. The water started getting in it. It froze in the winter time, and it all fell apart. That was what was wrong with it. When I dug down, I found the footer. So I poured an extra one right on top, which was going to be even with the first step. It's just an insurance for me. I brought the brick back in, so it's nothing's catching the brick ledge anymore. I'm not a big fan of throwing all the material away. All that material was good, so I reused it. A stone is a stone. It's going to be stronger than any cement or anything else, so I reused it. It's just as good. Now when it comes to footers, I can't say much about footers, only the jobs that I actually worked on, because every area in the country is different, and you have to talk to the people who have a lot of experience and know whether you really need a footer, a deep footer or no footer, or you can put it on gravel. Everything's different. Every situation's different. One last thing, it's 6 months later and I just checked the steps out because I like to look at everything after the winter's over with. And they painted them in the late fall, which is a good thing because that's what we wanted to do. We figured we didn't want to rip all that stuff out of there, put all brand new brick steps in, and then 20, 30 years later the same thing. Just plaster it up, paint it, and you're done. So it's a different way of looking at things. All my videos are food for thought. Different areas, different masons do it a different way, but that is what works here. So thanks for watching the videos. Please subscribe. I'm Mike Haduck. Until next time.